to the world, giving you the best radio experience.
Now our Drive Chat is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, MTN is saying if it is your birthday, hooray, hooray, happy birthday to you and yours. I know they're going to celebrate theirs too, so there is good news for you and everyone that is going to celebrate their birthdays this year. You know, on your birthday, you get up to 3 hours of free talk time and 25 free text messages to call and text all your friends and family on MTN. Now, that's not all, oh. You also stand the chance of getting birthday cakes and e-vouchers to grab your own birthday gifts at some of your favorite shops and supermarkets. So you know where all the birthday fun day, right? MTN. Join the biggest family in Ghana and let's chill on your special day. Kind courtesy MTN. Please note that all terms and conditions do apply. Also, Drive Chat is brought to you by Access Bank. More than banking. Onga Chicken Tablet. Mama's Helping Hand. Well, yesterday I made a very nice video with the Onga song. Everyone loves it, even my producer does. But do you know that Ongalicious is the new delicious? Look, you can create amazing moments with your favorite Onga seasoning, no matter your cooking experience, whether it is dope like my mom's or it is as bad as mine. Onga is a delight to make great tasty meals in every home. Onga is convenient to use and brings out that great taste and aroma in your meals. So let's toast to the new Onga beef tablet and Onga stew tablet with superior taste and comforting aroma for all your meals. Mama's Helping Hand, Onga, proudly Ghanaian. If you're on Facebook, connect with them at Onga Ghana on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, you know very well that 2 weeks ago, on a beautiful Wednesday evening like this, we had a conversation with our drive doctor, Dr. Yao Osafo, on the topic, what is your health plan for 2022? What is your health plan for 2022? And great news is that Doctor joins me again right here on Drive Time on Joy. Dr. Yao Osafo, welcome.
Kofi.
First time we're
meeting this year.
Yes, no, I mean on the show. We've met already,
yes,
but on the show.
On the show, yes.
But how have you been? I mean, how has your year been so far?
So far it's been fantastic. And we've started work in earnest. Medical's Hospital. I mean, we never went on a break anyway,
right.
But it's good to know that you've transitioned from one year
to another.
To another. And Kofi, there's something special that's happening.
Oh.
Sometime last year, I came into the studio with a very good friend of mine who is a surgeon, a spine surgeon. So if you like, he's a back doctor, a back and neck doctor. And he had a chat with us, telling us about back pain and neck pain, and he's visiting again.
Oh, great.
So twice a year we organize these very special spine sessions at Medical's Hospital in
nice.
both branches. This time around we're extending it. We're going to have 4 different locations. It's this month of February. Hopefully we'll start next week. So maybe next week we would have Dr. Yunchi back in the studio.
It would be amazing to have him in here.
But I will drop the number at the end of the show.
Great.
So that those who are interested in getting help for their back and neck issues can come over during the sessions. So that's something I'm very excited about.
I am also very excited to hear. I mean,
Right.
I know a lot of people have back problems and spinal problems.
Some back problems. Sometimes we look young on the outside, but inside
You are growing.
So I think everybody should take the opportunity to have their backs and their necks checked. So that's something that we're looking at.
Okay, great. So, Doctor, I mean, let's go.
Right. So last 2 weeks we started a conversation about a health plan.
Yeah.
And Kofi, it's very important because at the beginning of the year, we all make different plans. I mean, these days they say we shouldn't say resolution. The word is being abused.
It's been thrown away so much.
So that we talk about plans.
Yeah.
So we all need to make a deliberate effort to prevent disease, to promote health, and also sometimes even prevent the development of complications. Health is a state of a complete physical, mental and social well-being, and not just merely the absence of disease. So when we talk about health, then we're looking at a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease.
Right.
So if you're developing a health plan, then you must have or think about the different things that should go into it. We have plans for our vehicles. We have plans for so many other things.
Yeah, school,
career.
Yeah, career and all that.
But most of the time, we don't actually sit down and make a plan for our health. So 2 weeks ago, we started that particular conversation, and just by way of recap, I will just quickly breeze over the things that I mentioned. We talked about nutrition or diet as one of the things that all of us need to look at. Exercise was number 2, that you need to think about physical
Activities, right.
or and design something that fits your schedule, fits your state of health, and it can promote your health. So exercise is one of those components that everybody should take off. Sleep is something I mentioned, and Philip was very, very guilty about it. 1 a.m. If I send Philip a text message, he will respond. 4 a.m. guy will respond. I say, hey, Philip, don't
Does
you
he
sleep?
He has a siesta. I'm the only one that knows.
So Kofi, sleep is very, very important, especially in children, and that's where my drive is. Sleeping in children. When we're in secondary school, we were compelled to have even siesta,
Right.
and then to have enough nighttime sleep. Sleep is the period where your body tends to rejuvenate itself. There's some very important hormones that are secreted in large quantities, especially in children, called growth hormone, that gets maximum secretion during sleep. So sleep is very, very important. And these days, the screen time children have is increasing because they move from one gadget to the other.
Another.
But we shouldn't forget that we need sleep. A lot of adults also think that, oh, doc, me 3 hours before I'm
You're okay.
It's a lie. It's never true. It doesn't change. You may think that you're used to it, but then your body is taking a beating from that. So sleep is one of those things. Then I also talk about some lifestyle habits that you need to kick. For example, smoking. Smoking is never a good idea, whatever it is that you are smoking, whether it's tobacco, whether it's shisha, whether it's weed. These days, people are trying to justify the weed
yes,
by all the time
yes,
bringing
yes,
something.
yes.
But that act of smoking, inhaling smoke at a high temperature, it's never good, for you. Let's put even the substance to one side.
Okay.
That act of smoking, in itself, it's dangerous. Recreation. These days, Kofi, the way people are defining recreation, because some of the things they call recreational drugs. I don't see what is recreational about sniffing glue or doing cocaine.
Yeah, and some cough mixtures and what have you.
Yes.
Mixing it with all these
Exactly.
kind of
We have
energy
opioids
drinks.
in there.
Right.
Opioids in there. So they are calling these things recreational drugs. So I want everybody to incorporate some recreational activities in their lives for 2022. But you've got to define what recreation is. It has to be something that is healthy, that is very relaxing, that takes your mind away from all the stresses in life. If you can combine that with a physical activity, exercise, then even better. So I used to play football very regularly until I had a terrible injury.
Oh.
But for me, that was my escape. I like to watch and then I like to play. These days, we the Manchester United supporters.
Oh, you are one?
And Blaster supporters.
Me, I'm Manchester United, but also Comoros.
Who said you are winning? I want to if you're my
Comoros card.
Right.
Anyway.
So I want us to take healthy recreational options. I also mentioned medical checkups.
Yeah.
Medical checkups. That include the general checkups and then also specific checkups. Knowing what your family medical history is very important. And I will tie that in with the regular medical checkups. Because most people in our parts of the world don't know what their family medical history is. Even within families, we try to make a lot of things hush hush. But it's important. For example, cancers. Cancers, we believe, to a large extent, have some genetic factors at play. When it comes to breast cancer, then the evidence is there. There is a gene that you inherit, and that can be passed on. So even if you are male and you've got a parent, a mother, who suffered and maybe died from breast cancer, it's important for you to know, because 1% of all cases of breast cancer happens in men.
I think you mentioned this last year too.
Exactly.
Great.
So if you're a female, you're a woman, and your mother, or you have a first-degree relative, an aunt, who suffered breast cancer, it's important to know. If you have a first-degree relative who suffered from prostate cancer, it's good to know. If you know this and then you go and see your physician, then your physician would be able to make or request specific investigations for you because of that family history, medical history. So too often I see patients come in and I ask them, do you have diabetes in your family, hypertension in your family? And they say, oh, no, doctor, maybe she.
But doc, you see, I'd like to ask, is it just immediate family or the extended family? Because there are some family members, extended family members that we never get to meet, we don't know about. How do we find out?
Right, Kofi, good question. So the farther away you move from your first-degree relatives, your parents, your siblings, then the more dilute the genetics become, because your great-grand-uncle somewhere would also have had other, children with other people.
Right.
So yes, we always talk about first-degree relatives, parents, siblings, uncles, aunties, the closer they are, because it's not possible for us to know the whole extended family.
Exactly.
So we should start developing that habit of developing a family medical history, a tree, so that we share that information. We may not benefit from it this generation, but the next generation
right,
would benefit from it. I also talked about the checkups, including dental checkups. Kofi, here in this country, it's very difficult to get Ghanaians interested in dentistry. Unless the kaka
is coming or has arrived.
And there's a hole in the tooth.
Then
they finish putting ginger and all sorts of concoctions and all those things. And it doesn't work. And they have a swollen jaw. Then they will call you in the middle of the night wanting to come to the dentist. But simple procedures like scaling and polishing, when you look around your teeth, the area around the gum, sometimes you find these yellow things we call plaque formation forming there after a while. It's very important to pay a visit to the dentist so that the dentist can clean your teeth and remove all of that. They call it S&P, scaling and polishing. It's very important. That forms a good niche for bacteria to grow, and then you end up developing gum disease, and we lose our teeth as we age. And then we sometimes think that, it's part of the aging process, but it is not. There are a lot of medical conditions as well that a dentist can pick up by just looking into your mouth. Just by looking into your mouth, it can pick up systemic diseases as well. So every 6 months, we encourage for you to pay a visit to the dentist, not because you develop dental caries, or kaka as we commonly call it, but it is important. So put it on your health plan, a visit to the dentist.
Okay.
Please
so twice a year.
Yes, twice a year. Every 6 months you go. If you have children, please go with them. It is very, very important, especially when they are at about the age where they start to lose their milk teeth from 6 years onwards, because they are not going to form the permanent teeth. So they must start developing right habits, teeth brushing habits, the right ones. Brushing 2 times a week.
2 times
in a day.
Hey, 2 times a week, they have one couple.
Sorry, 2 times in a day.
Fine.
And then also rinsing the mouth anytime you take anything sugary. They will be taught the right way to brush the teeth, what they can use as mouthwash. We tend to give children a lot of sweets. Oh yeah, I'm out of it. I'm out of it. That kind of thing. We also need to talk to them about all of them, because once they lose the milk teeth and they start erupting the permanent one, then whatever damage that happens to the permanent one, it's gone for good. We'll now have to replace it with other things. So that's a lot of the things that we discussed. Today, I want to mention specific areas. So females, for example, in the reproductive age group, then we are talking about those who are menstruating, if you like, in the reproductive age group. A pap smear should be something, or screening for cervical cancer, I should put it that way, should be on your list. If you've never done it and you've never received a vaccine against a virus we call HPV, human papilloma virus, which is responsible for causing the majority of cervical cancer, then please put it on your list. It is the only cancer that is curable if identified at the right time.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's still, I think, number 2 in terms of the cancers that kill women in this country.
Cervical cancer.
Yes. So we need to do a lot more than we are doing now. So all women in that reproductive age group, you should get either a pap smear, and then there's even a simpler screening tool. We call it the VIA, visual inspection using vinegar. Acetoacetic acid, just vinegar, the vinegar we find in the kitchen.
Okay, for salads.
All right, we apply it at the tip of the cervix, and if it has any suspicious early cancerous lesions, then we pick it up. So it's actually very simple, costs nothing. All you need is a screen, and you can even do it under a tree in my hometown, Boso. So
right.
It doesn't cost much. The pap smear is relatively more expensive. It gives us a lot more details. So from the visual inspection, we can then ask for a pap smear as well. So you should do that. If you have any teenage children at home, then I would want you to consider and have this conversation with your family physician, whether or not to take a vaccine against cervical cancer or against human papilloma virus. Kofi, there's something we call genital warts. It's a very unsightly growth that occurs around the genitalia. It looks like a cauliflower shaped, and it's gross. And it's caused by this organism. Human papilloma virus is a sexually transmitted virus. So we've got a vaccine now, and the recommendation by a certain school of physicians is that give it to people before they become sexually active and vaccinate them so that they do not develop the infection later on. So this is a conversation you should have. There's another school of thought that says that no, hold on, you shouldn't give it to teenagers because it will encourage a certain behavior that you don't want, because then they are emboldened and they think that, what will water do to a rock? I can do whatever I want to do. But I believe that with the right counseling, then they understand. So that's a conversation that you would want to have with your family physician about the use of the human papilloma virus vaccine. Breast self-examination is also something I would like to, for every woman to put on their list. If you are in the reproductive age group, you pick 5 to 6 days after your menses. Day 5 or day 6 after your menses. It has to be a fixed day. So if you are picking day 5 or you are picking day 6 after every menstrual cycle, then you examine your breast. I think last year during the Pink October month, we went through how the breast self-examination is done. If you want to be reminded of it after the show, you can call us and then we'll walk you through that. So that's every month. And then once a year, you should make it a point to get a clinical breast examination. That is a breast examination conducted by a healthcare professional, an appropriately trained healthcare professional. So it could be a doctor, or it could be a nurse, a midwife, who knows what he or she is doing. Then a lot of women in the reproductive age group have reproductive wishes. They want to make babies. So there's something we call a preconception clinic. Maybe in our part of the world, you are there and then the woman, your wife or your woman will tell you that, hey, Kofi, the thing you and I did has come. And we a lot of people just get pregnant. I hope you know.
Yes, I know.
You know what we are talking. We don't plan, but there's something we call a preconception clinic. Once a decision is made that I want to have children, it is a good idea to have a chat with your doctor or a midwife. You need, as a female, to be in great physical condition to be able to have a baby. And if you're a man as well, same. Because sometimes you're on certain medications And if you're on those medications, you shouldn't attempt to father a child at that time because you may have some birth abnormalities. So it's always an important step to visit your doctor. So if beginning of the year you've vowed that 2022, I have reproductive wishes, just visit the doctor. He'll take you through the preconception care, and then you are good to go.
Yeah, but what about those who do not have like a normal menstrual cycle?
Right, that's even the more reason why you need to just visit your doctor. So as part of your plan for 2022, go and see your doctor. As a female, one of the things we'll talk about is your menstrual cycle. So some females have irregular menstrual cycles,
Exactly.
and then others also have regular menstrual cycles. So we'll have a conversation around all of that so that you know how to go about it. And that's the beauty of the preconception clinic, that you go and then all of these things are discussed. Right. The other thing I want to also mention is for the men. What should you put on your list? If you're a man and you're about 40 years or 45 years, then you should consider prostate examination, or you should put prostate examination on your list. So I see a lot of people come to the hospital and then they say, "Oh, doctor, I'm coming to do a PSA." So the PSA is a biochemical test used in assessing the state of health of the prostate. But that is very incomplete as a way of examining the prostate. So 3 things. Your doctor needs a history from you, or he'll ask you a few questions that would point us in the direction of prostate disease. Your doctor will then do a physical examination, and that one, I agree, it is a bit uncomfortable, but necessary.
Very necessary.
Because the only way we get access to the prostate is by doing something we call a digital rectal examination. Digital, not that we are using some e-Navy or anything. We are not using any anything. But the digits, the fingers. So the doctor would insert his gloved index finger, which is well oiled, up your backside, and that is how we get access to the prostate. The feel of the prostate gives us a lot of information regarding its size, and then whether or not the enlargement is because there is a cancerous lesion in there or it is a benign enlargement. So the doctor will do that. And then when we are done, of course, we do a biochemical test, a blood test called the PSA, and then also request a scan, an ultrasound scan of the prostate. So when all of these things are done, then we can say you have had a thorough prostate examination, and then your doctor will discuss the results with you. Of course, if you have a positive family history of prostate disease, particularly prostate cancer, then yes, 40 years is a good number for you to even have that, if not earlier. You should also have your blood pressure checked regularly. This is not scientific, it's not backed up by any data, but I think I see a lot more men undiagnosed with hypertension.
Really?
Than women. A lot of men come in and they're surprised when we take their blood pressures and then they're hypertensive, and they don't know. They've been walking around for a long time, without it. So I think that if we conduct any such study in our part of the world, probably we would find that that is the case. The WHO says that there are 700 million people globally with undiagnosed hypertension. That is the estimate, global estimate. But I think there's a lot of gender disparity in that estimate. I think there are a lot more men
than
women who walk around with that.
With hypertension.
I think maybe it's cultural. Men also have a reluctance to seeking health care. There's this macho, it's very macho not to go to the hospital.
It's a very, very wrong perception.
It's a very wrong perception. So a lot of them come when they've passed out, they've collapsed at work, or they've had a very serious episode of ill health, and then we find out. So I would like to encourage all the men out there. We are the breadwinners most of the time. We take on a lot in terms of work and all of that. And then lastly, make sure your blood cholesterol is on your health plan. You get your blood cholesterol checked. It's one of those things that doesn't give you any symptoms until it is too late. So Kofi, in summary, last point, family planning.
Okay.
Family planning. I think sometimes we don't decide. We think that naturally it stops. But I think we should all decide the number of children that you want to have and when you want to have those children, and don't leave it to chance, because these days
we don't want to be like Nick Cannon.
he says he stopped it afterwards.
Well, he hasn't said it, but he's
Oh, he says-
expecting
he
his
says he's
8th
been-
child,
I
and he's
heard
only
something that
41.
He wants to be celibate or something.
Yes,
like
yes, he said it. He said his therapist says he should, be
After
celibate.
8.
He's still inviting more, so let's see what happens. So family planning is
So
actually
family
one of
planning
them
is again something that you should discuss
on your list.
You should put on your list. So in summary, Kofi, these are the things I want everybody to consider. Of course, pay a visit to your family physician. You can call us, and your doctor will sift through with you, and then design a plan for you. Once you've taken the decision, you've made your input, you go and visit your doctor, and then we'll do the rest.
Okay, Doc, please put out your number so that our listeners who would want your services can reach out.
Right. So the number is 0501 477 340. 0501 477 340.
Okay, is it the same number that they have to call?
Same
with
number for
regards
the
to
spine. Yes, with regards to the
spine?
spine clinic,
Okay.
the special spine clinic. It's the same number.
Okay.
And we'll have it at our Mampon branch, Firestone branch. There is also Central Dansoman Clinic, and then Pleasant Medical Center at Ashaman.
Okay.
So for those from Tema in the east, Pleasant Medical Center, Dansoman Central Clinic, and then Medicas Firestone, and then Medicas Mampon.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Yao Safo, for joining us. Great conversation. Put all these things on your health plan for the year 2022. Just had a conversation with Dr. Yao Osafo from Medicas Hospital. We're going for the new